We are just pulling in to Crowcombe Court wedding venue in Somerset. Now this is one of my absolute favourite venues. I'm really fortunate to be a recommended supplier here. I'm usually here, I don't know, about 12 or 13 times a year. I thought I'd take you guys on a behind the scenes look at how I tend to shoot wedding videos, sort of behind the scenes of bridal prep, of groom prep, ceremony, portraits, all that stuff. Just take you on a little adventure. This is the main bag, which you'll have seen in the previous video. It's got everything I need for the day. Plenty of water, old ass gimbal. This will be kind of, I'll just keep most of it either with me or like nearby so I can access it. The good thing about this venue is there's places that I can leave things safely, so I'll probably put it down and then sort of pick up stuff as I need it. The very first thing I like to do when I arrive is just go and say hi to the bride and the bridal party, even if I'm not going to start filming them straight away. It's just a good way to break the ice early and get a bit of a rapport going, especially if you haven't met the couple before. Now we'd actually done their pre-shoot a couple months prior, but it's just still a good way to start the day and let them know you're here. I'm relying on Becca then.
Party, that
excellent. Whilst I remember readings for the ceremony, is it both mums doing a reading?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is your mum around?
They weren't both in here, but
I'll probably see them around. Okay. If you see them or if Jack sees them, I'll just get them to point them out to me. So. I did stay in bridal prep initially for around about 15 or 20 minutes, just capturing a few shots here and there, but again the plan was to be back and forth throughout the morning, and it just allowed the bride and bridesmaids to start feeling a bit more comfortable with me being around with my camera and not feeling super duper awkward, as it can be sometimes. So I'm going to get some drone shots now. We're using the Mini 3 Pro, great drone, works really well. It's not too much wind today either, which is really good. Yeah, as I said, I always try and do the drone shots sort of pretty much as soon as I get there because there's not too much going on. I usually arrive a bit early. The weather's good at the moment, it's overcast, so it's pretty much optimal conditions. So without further ado, we'll launch this without cutting my finger off. First things first, I actually just try and get some general landscape shots, which are really good for kind of introducing the film. Now I know it's a bit of a cliche to start a film with a drone shot, but it works. And actually, to be honest, you know, I'm not going to stop doing it unless I think of something that I want to do more. So usually the film will start with a general landscape shot to kind of set the scene. I'll usually then cut to a title shot of the couple, like a portrait shot, and then I'll actually get shots of the venue. But I like to get a few different landscape shots because you never really know what's going to work well for the edit. So I like to give myself a few options. So I'll normally just again fly forward for 15 or 20 seconds around the area. What I've done is I've attached a little box around the venue, which again you can do in most DJI drones. So I'm just going to get some just general shots of the venue, sort of moving forward and tracking in. I just like to have options in the edit. I'll use only a couple of shots, but it's just nice to kind of think a bit differently, come up with different angles, just to get a bit creative with it, because otherwise it's just a bit paint by numbers. And I think as soon as it becomes paint by numbers, it just gets boring. So you've got to be a little bit creative and try and think of some new stuff. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but you want to try and think of some new shots, just something a bit different, or maybe something you haven't done in a while. So I'm using the trees to kind of frame it and then kind of reveal. There's not too many things in the shot here, which is good. And that'll make for quite a nice kind of, here look, we're at the venue shot, and establishing where we are in the video. Right, okay, I think I'm happy with the shots I've got for now. I may get some more later, haven't totally decided. Yeah, catching it like a pro. Now, most of the reason I like to catch it is actually just because every now and then I'll land it in the grass or something, it'll just slice the grass. I don't want to ruin these propellers. It's annoying to have to replace them, so most of the reason I catch it for that. I will say, catching can be a bit risky. You can hurt your fingers, so you just have to get the technique right. And also that thing where you turn it off and flip it that way, I don't think it's actually very good for the drones. You're going to keep holding the left down stick until it's fully landed and you've caught it, and then the thing's gone off. There you go, top tip. So we're just going to film a bit of B-roll now. I may or may not use it, but I like to just have a few options. You'll see that I'm mostly handheld throughout the day, and I normally just sort of basically aim and shoot get sort of 8 seconds or so. I'm shooting most of the day in 25 frames a second. Now most people might ask why I don't shoot 50. Well, this unfortunately crops in at 4K 50, and also I just prefer the look of 25. So apart from things like the confetti and a couple shots, it's all 25, and I'm used to it enough that I can just shoot for a bit longer, get the shots I need, and I generally just prefer like the motion blur effect and also just being able to use the full frame. So yeah, I'm just going to basically get a few sort of artsy shots around the area that I may or may not use for video, just sort of showing off the venue and the general area. Right, so this is the room where they have the wedding breakfast. There's no chairs in here at the moment, so I'm not going to get any B-roll shots. But I'm just in here at the moment figuring out roughly where I'm going to put the cameras for speeches. Now I only tend to use 2. I'm probably going to put the cameras around about here, and I'll probably put them both here, which again might be nuts, but actually having done this venue a few times, that works pretty well. Because when everyone's in here, I can't get across to the other cameras and check it's running. I like to have access, so I think I'll probably end up being here by the fireplace and then just sort of shooting that way with the head table, which is going to be behind you. I probably won't get any detailed shots in here until probably after the ceremony, because they've got to move the chairs in here. But it's just good to get an idea of the layout of the room. They're obviously going all the way through back that way as well, because they've got about 85 guests, I think. But I have asked they use the handheld microphone, which in terms of capturing audio makes my life a bit easier. I can still put microphones nearby, but yeah, so it's just good to kind of figure out how things are going to be a bit later on. So we're going to do a flat lay sort of detail shot now. Now I'm going to be honest here, I haven't really set this up. I may have provided a bit of artistic input, but it's mostly Paul, who is just over there, who has done the main setup. He is the talent here. He's trying to get me to do more of it, so I've had input. This is mostly Paul stuff, but I like to get a few of these shots to kind of cut in on the video. It's quite nice to have those little bits in the detail. The couple will like to see that sort of thing.
I usually like to get a few different angles of the flat lay, a wide shot, and then some close-ups on things like the flowers and the shoes and the invite. Once I'd done that, I then went back into bridal prep because Emily, the bride, was getting her finishing touches on her makeup done, so I wanted to make sure I get a few of those shots. Once I'd got the shots I needed in bridal prep for the time being, I then went upstairs to where Jack the groom was to get a few shots with him.
So what we might get you to do is if you stand sort of slightly looking out the window, yep, and then take a step that way, and then you're going to be slightly angled towards the window just so the light hits you. Yep. Could you undo just a couple of waistcoat buttons? We'll start with that first. Yep. Yeah, that's fine. And when I say, we'll just get you to do up those little ones. Yep. Right, yeah, go for it. Do those buttons up. And then when you've done that, then just go to adjust your tie. That's good, and keep looking out the window when you're doing it as well. Just one more adjustment on the tie there. Yep.
So put in a minute like here again?
Yeah, about there, that's good.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good. Yep.
Right, when you're ready, go for it, and then just sort of adjust the lapel and stuff. And then do, again, looking slightly out that way, and then one final adjustment of the tie when we say, okay. Right, go for it, yeah, one final adjustment. And then just check your cuffs and stuff as well. And yeah, see that?
Next up, we had to get some shots of the dress. Now, moving the dress into the ceremony hall, while it looks good, was quite challenging because we were trying to make sure people didn't see it who weren't supposed to see it. Once I'd done shots of that, I then started to do a few shots of the ceremony setup on the gimbal, which I'll use at the start of the film.
I don't know how many of these shots I will use, but it's just good to get them moving the gimbal super slow. I'm on a 35 here. Right, okay, we're about to set up for ceremony now. I've got some detailed shots. This is going to be the front wide angle. I always have a safety angle at the front on about 20 millimeters. It means I can just leave it. I can usually cut to it if I need to. It's not the most artistic shot, but it's just good to have. So this will be going at the front. And then this S5 II, which is also my gimbal camera. I'm having to double up a little bit. This will be back here where the stairs are. Because the bridal party will come down the stairs, then I can just leave this here looking straight down the aisle. It will be backlit, so I'll have to adjust for that. I can basically leave it running and just have it as an angle looking straight that way, and then I'll be stood in the doorway, handheld. It does mean I'll be in my own shot, but again, you do the best you can with these sorts of things. So yeah, let's get these ones, get these set up. So I want to set this one at about f4. It isn't actually an f1.4 lens, but I wouldn't want to shoot f1.4 for a ceremony, especially not if I'm leaving the camera. This will be on manual focus, and then in a minute I'll get someone to stand roughly where the bride and groom will be, so I can set my focus and I can just leave it basically. Adam is currently standing as my kind of mark, so I can get this right. That'll do for now, so I'm happy with that. Next up, wide angle lens. This is going to be a bit challenging, obviously because we've got the two lots of flowers here, but basically I need to set up some kind of sort of safety wide angle lens. I think it's likely to have to be around about here. Again, it's not going to be the most perfect of shots, but we should be able to do okay with it. It really is just a safety angle if I need it.
After I'd set up my ceremony cameras, I went back to bridal prep for one final time to capture a few shots of all the bridesmaids in their dressing gowns, and then went outside whilst the bride got the dress done up, and then we went in to get those last few shots, get a few pictures of her with her mum, and then finally do the reveal of her in a dress to the bridesmaids as well as to her dad.
Okay, on three, you're all going to turn around, and as you turn around, you are going to open your eyes, okay? Don't look in the mirror as you turn around, so... Okay, 3, 2, 1, go!
You missed sunset properly.
You're like an angel! Oh, it's my baby camera.
Yeah, Mississippi. 20 Mississippi. There you go. He's got baby run.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. How long has this been planning? Can you just lean against that a second? There we go. Lush. Okay. Do you want to put your hands down?
Fashionably late, I told you I would be.
So with those final bits done, I headed to the main hall where the ceremony was taking place, got my B and C cams recording, and then quickly spoke to the registrar to ask her to stand the other side of the aisle, just so that she wasn't blocking my safety cam, as you can see there, because that would have been an absolute nightmare for my editing. So you can see the three angles that I'm using for my ceremony. Now, the layout of this video is very much inspired by Rue Film's behind the scenes video, so apologies, I did kind of pinch this idea. I thought it was really well laid out, so I used this layout for myself. So I've got the A cam on the left, that's handheld, that's what I'm using basically the entire ceremony and just sort of moving into position to get the shots that I need. B cam, as you can see, obviously there's the aisle shot. Every now and then you will see a photographer right in front of it, but that's fine. And you'll also see C cam, that safety shot we set up earlier. It's covering basically the whole front of the ceremony and it's still out of the other shots, which is ideal. B cam and C cam are actually set to auto ISO. That's purely because the sun was coming in and out that day and I didn't want to have to worry about, you know, being super underexposed and having to like automate the exposure in post. This way generally works pretty well. The B cam is set to around a stop and a half over, so it's not just exposing for the highlights and plunging them into just silhouette shadow. And then C cam is usually, I think, around about 1 or 2/3 of a stop over. I tend to find with the Panasonic Lumix cameras that overexposing slightly gives generally pretty good results. So you'll also see throughout the ceremony that I did have to adjust the safety camera a couple of times, again because of the flowers that were positioned. It's just one of those things, you've got to work with what you got. So whenever someone was doing like a reading or when they got the witnesses to stand up, I did have to move it so you can see me ducking around there. You'll also see me ducking back and forth in the doorway to get the angle for the groom and the bride when they were doing their personal vows. This is usually the way I shoot things. Now sometimes when you have a particularly small ceremony space you can't do this, but this one was big enough that I could. But again, as you'll see with B-cam on the aisle, you will see that I am in my own shot. It's just one of those things. I did the best I could with it, but it's not always easy to stay out of your own shot if you're set up that way. And like all wedding ceremonies, it ends with a kiss. Now this is usually around the time I will stop recording. I'll usually obviously leave space for applause and if they hug or anything like that. Then I will cut the cameras if it's a registrar wedding. With registrar weddings, this is basically the end of the ceremony. They'll then go and sign the register. Now in some counties you can film this, in some counties you can't. I generally don't, but I might film the pose bits at the end. If it was a church ceremony, usually I'll leave the cameras rolling because they often do a bit at the end. The registrar ceremonies are usually the easiest ones to film. They're also really short. They're only about 10 to 15 minutes or so, whereas the church ceremonies can be up to and sometimes over an hour long. So you just need to kind of have an idea and be prepared for the different types of ceremonies depending on what the couple have chosen. As you can see here, I'm immediately packing down all my cameras and my microphones whilst the couple signs the legal document. I'm then running to the back to set my B-cam up on my gimbal with my 35mm lens because I'm going to need this for the couple's exit as well as the confetti shot.
Yes, yeah, I think so. And I'll probably just, when they're doing that, I'll probably just do a little. Yeah. I'm on, what are you on? Going to be
24.
Right, yeah, I'll be on.
What are you on?
35. Right, so I'm now doing a mixture of filming group shots and candids. I'm going to have to do it a bit concurrently just because the way things are running. Now I normally tend to get the group shots as well, just in case I don't manage to get stuff for candids. So it's just a good safety to have. We're on the 85mm f1.4 Sigma, which is great for all sorts of candids. Paul's obviously organising all this stuff, so I'm just going to try and capture as much as I can.
Come on!
So this sort of stuff's great for the video. And then I'm basically just going to start pivoting around, getting some candids over here, holding it for about 8 to 10 seconds or so. Usually, again, other people say this, if you hold a shot for a while, people eventually do something that's worth including. Good thing is here, people are spread out enough, I can move around, get some shots. I'm not like too tight, so 85 is perfect for this. It separates the background really nice, and again, it's just nice for sort of to have a little montage after they've walked out the confetti, just have a little candid shots. I'm just doing the last bits of candids now. We're going to get the couple in the window and get some like portrait shots in a bit, and then get them in, do the speeches, and then we can take a bit of a break and prepare for the evening stuff.
Once I'd captured all the candid shots I needed for the video, I quickly ran inside to where the reception was happening to quickly get shots of the room before the guests were seated. I was already set up with my gimbal, so I got those shots first, then quickly got a few close-ups as well. I usually only use maybe 4 or 5 shots of this in the video. It's pretty quick, but it's still good to get these shots because a couple want to see the details of the day as well as their guests. Once the guests were all in the room, I quickly captured the couple's entrance, which is always a nice moment to include in the video, and then it was straight on to speeches. So you can see in this screen here, this is the setup for my speeches shots. It's pretty much exactly as I thought I was going to set it up earlier in the video. So on the left we've got the A cam, which is the speaker cam, and B cam on the right is my safety shot / reaction camera. I would sometimes set up a third camera to capture audience reactions, but in this setup it didn't really work, so having 2 was the ideal scenario. In terms of audio, I've got the TX650 attached to the microphone, which makes audio super easy. And then I've actually just got a few on the table. Usually the TX650 will pick up pretty well if they're stood close enough to it, but I really only needed that as a backup anyway. And if there were issues with the audio, I could have used Podcast AI or something to fix it if I needed to.
We have just finished speeches. Speeches were before food this time, which I generally prefer because it basically means you get all the busy part of the day done in the first half, and then the second half of the day is a lot more chill. So before that we also did a few portrait shots, which I actually got Adam to do because I needed to go and set up for speeches. But all in all, it all seems to have gone pretty well. It's been a good day so far, which is great. I do love the venue. The staff always really help sort of make the day run really well. Next up, we're going to do some couple portraits. They've also got smoke flares, I believe. So a lot of good opportunity for creative shots. Those are the bits I really enjoyed doing. And then lastly, it's cake cut and first dance, and then we're done. Oh, there we go, it's coming now. Yeah. Might need to waft it a bit.
Yeah, back. Bring them over a little bit.
I think put them on the ground behind them.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got Matt in my thing.
Yeah, I can't cut him out. You. There we go. That's working. That's working. I'm just going to go in below you a second.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's good.
Right, so we're in the middle of doing portraits right now. We've done a couple of ones with just a couple over there with a couple of smoke flares, but we're now going to do the main one, which I think is 4 smoke flares, and we're going to do it with the bridal party. This is kind of the money shot, the one they really wanted. And then after that, we're then going to go round the back and work our way back this way to do just a couple portrait shots before we do cake cut and then first dance.
Hold them in the air.
Where's it coming out? Do it! It's burnt my forehead, but I'm doing it!
I know.
Okay. Right, give it a dab, Dave. Go, go. Right, guys, come a little bit closer. Have a kiss, you two, go on. want to walk to us, you just guys stay there. Come back.
I'm loving the chaos.
And then do a little dip kiss. Come on.
Oh yeah, hang on, we're on the
Yeah.
Quick.
Right.
Ready?
Hold it there. Put your hand around his head. There we go.
I like that.
That's enough, Jack.
Lovely stuff.
I thought I was going to break
Beautiful.
my back.
Oh.
And then can you just have a little smooch? Grab his face while you're doing it.
That's it.
Yeah,
Perfect.
there we
Perfect.
go.
Opportunity just to generally get some walking shots, and I'll be halfway there really. I think so, yeah. So as they come down, I might just say keep going, if you're happy with me to do that. So if you guys start about here, and you're basically going to run, Paul, where is it? So you've got the, I'm trying to have, so about that way. So you're going to literally run to the direction where your entourage is, your paparazzi is. So just wait a sec. You just wait a minute. Sorry? Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
On you, mate.
I'm good to go. Right, guys, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Yes.
That's lush.
Love it. Did you want to?
That is lush. Just a little squidge and then pulling away.
You weren't told to kiss me.
You can kiss all you want.
Sorry.
So,
Okay, Ben. Because it's tickling.
I like the tickle because then you're gonna get all squirmish and it works.
Paul, they need to move about that way. Right. Sorry. Jack's left.
How's that, Sam?
That's best. Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. What focal length are you on there? Cool. That's what I'm on. And then Jack, you're leaning a bit forward, almost like looking down at her, like coming around like that. That's it. You come and sit on this one here, so you're kind of facing that way.
Yeah.
And then Jack, you come around here.
Yep.
No. No lipstick left now.
Yeah, Jack, you've got all the makeup on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. This is literally a shot of you.
Nice little nose fight again and then going for a kiss.
Foundation.
Yeah.
Number 2 suits you well.
Yeah.
Round here. And it's going to be the same thing again. You're just going to be walking to that
Towards you.
Yes. So you're going to start here, and I'm going to be walking backwards, hopefully not falling over that bush.
That would be spectacular.
So yeah, do an about turn, and then I need to not get those ones. Jenny, can you just come this side a second? I'm just trying to frame the cars out. That's the main thing. Just having a great time. That's it. Yeah, that's it. That's really nice. If you come around this way a bit, just follow me this way. No, you're good. Pull her in a bit, Jack, as well. Pull her in and then go for a kiss. That's it. Yeah, go for a kiss.
Just have a kiss if you can. Lush.
So these are the last few portraits now. And as soon as we've done this, we're going to do cake cut and straight into first dance, and that'll be that. Barge you out the way, sorry.
We're just stealing your shot.
Fair enough. And that is us done. We've just finished first dance. It was great. We had an awesome band. I can see Paul just behind Adam. It was great working alongside Paul, obviously, and Matt, and my lovely wife Jenny, and of course big thank you to Adam, who has been filming all day. We're actually filming Paul's behind the scenes one tomorrow. I'm not sure when these come out, but either way we'll link to each other's ones. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed behind the scenes. I hope it was useful. I hope it was interesting. If you did enjoy, please do subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.